we created a document 2000 by 2000 pixels, white background, 72 screen resolution. Make sure your toolbar is here. Okay, so make sure your toolbar is right here. I have it floating. You can have it over here if you like, but I got it floating. All right, make sure it's layer and history. You got to have the layer and history. This is exactly. Now, if you are in this mode right here, okay, if you're not, you got to let me know right now. I can try and help you. What I'd like you to do, did we save this workspace? Let me show you how to do that. Window, workspace. You should see your name here. If you don't, window, workspace, new workspace. Window, workspace, new workspace. Click there and go ahead and put it your name so that it's yours, or you want to be called workspace 1 or 2. Okay, so once again, window, workspace, new workspace, okay? And when the dialog box appears, go ahead and type in your last name or your first name or whatever you want to reference to. Believe it or not, professionals, they use different types of workspaces for whatever. So sometimes we have people who are doing photography and they kind of come in and they have a different workspace, okay? Others have workspaces for web design. Other has workspace for whatever. All right, so if you did that, okay, we're good to go. Once again, make sure you use layers and history and layers. Okay. If I'm moving too fast, please raise your hand. I'll be happy to stop and help you out, or I'll happy to stop and kind of, let you catch up. Okay. So keep in mind, Thursday and Friday is catch-up day in honor of Triad, end of the Triad, for those you can, if you need it. How many here need that time? Okay. You don't need it? Just the majority of you don't need it. All right. Now, with the layers palette highlighted, okay, where it says the plus sign right here, create new layer. Let's go ahead and press that. Right down below, you see the plus sign here? Instead of doing layer, new layer 7 times, let's go ahead and just press this 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we have it. 7 layers. Why so many? You'll find out. We're going to make a 7-layered cake. Okay? Have you seen some of these wedding cakes? Oh my God. I would never, ever, ever work in the wedding industry. Okay. Can I continue? Okay. Anybody need me to help? Okay. So the first layer, obviously, like I said, we talked about the pancake analogy. All right, and we'll demonstrate that here. So please put highlight the first layer. Highlight the first layer. Okay, Carlos, you good? You okay? You look okay. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to click on the text tool and make sure it's on horizontal. So press and hold text tool and make sure it's horizontal. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is make sure that you have the font size at 60 for now. Okay, this is just for now. And a color that's any color other than white. So I got blue, that's good enough. If you got black, if you got red, yellow. Alrighty, so anyway, so here's what should be. Layer 1 is highlighted. The text tool is highlighted. Choose a decent font that you can kind of figure out. And of course 60. But the font is not important right now. All right, so inside here, go ahead and type in whatever you want. I'm going to put in gladiators. Okay. And at this point, I can go ahead and highlight, or I can put the cursor here. And I can go ahead and increase the size of gladiators. You see how I put it over the T? Okay, on the right side, I can go ahead and make it bigger. So what was 160 is now much bigger. Anybody need me to repeat that? Okay. Once again, click on the type tool. Make sure the type tool is at horizontal type tool. Type tool is at horizontal type tool. Okay, you good? And now you make sure that it's at 60. Okay? Okay, you good, Chris? All right, Israel, you good? Okay. Then you go ahead and click anywhere on the thing, and you notice this is what 60 points look like. And so what you're going to do is you're going to make it bigger. You can click on this arrow here, and you can, well, I guess you can't. So you can actually put the cursor over the T, small t and big T, and kind of, you'll see an arrow that's pointing left and right. And so what you can do is glide to the right, and then you will see the words appear there. I typed in Gladiator, and at this time you can change the font if you want. You can also change the color. Gladiator is not blue, that's the other school. We'll go ahead and do this. All right, and then you can also change it to something else. I kind of like that. That's pretty good font. Okay, all right. And of course, you can change the style of the font if you like, whatever the case may be. Okay, let me show you a really cool trick with the words highlighted. Okay, so everybody with their word. Okay, so you got the type tool selected, you got layer 1 selected. Now you should see this symbol right next to, this is the color icon. There's a symbol right here that says created vortex. So if I click here, I get a little dialog box. And if I go ahead and move it over and show you this, if I click on the drop-down menu, there's a thing called arc. And there's a whole bunch of things. And you see, it can actually do that. You can actually increase it. Okay? You can do that. Okay, calm down. Okay. You can actually go ahead and make it bigger. Okay? You can vertical distort it. My God. Usually you're excited when you have a nice, when you see a, okay, anyways. All right. All right, so you can do that. All right, pretty cool. You can also, I'm just going to show you this previous upcoming attraction. If you want, you can do layer, layer style, layer, layer style, and then choose drop shadow. Okay, and now you can add a little drop shadow. See that? Okay, so you can actually control the drop shadow with this. Okay, make sure the blend mode is normal. Okay, you can control the distance. See the distance? And spread. By the way, I'll know this is a faux pas if your opacity, okay, opacity here should only be about, okay, there's no such, well, I guess you can do that, but there is really no such thing as a complete black shadow, okay? There's no such thing. I mean, it's always dark gray or gray, depending how intense the sun is. But usually, so I got this guy right here. All right, anyways, let's move on. Okay, everybody good? Yes, yes, yes? Okay, cool. Now let's go click on layer number 2. Layer number 2. All right, layer number 2, I'm going to show you about the shapes. Okay, we're going to draw a circle, and we're going to draw a perfect circle. Which keyboard do we first press when we want the perfect circle? Shift. Love it. Thank you. Go ahead and click on the circle, the marquee tool. If you see the rectangle, press and hold. You'll see the elliptical or circle. Okay. And then what you'll do is I'm going to go ahead and create something like this, and then you can move it. Okay. You can move it right here. Ultimately, we'll learn how to create circular logos. Okay, inside and out. And what I'd like for you to do now is go ahead and click on the foreground color and choose a nice color. Maybe I'll choose blue. And then use the paint bucket tool to go ahead and paint. There. Now, you'll notice that a miniature version of that appears here. It is so warm in here. I don't know what happened. And I've asked, custodians are nowhere to be found. If you see a custodian, say, hey, get over here. All right, so now what I'm going to show you is this little, okay, you don't need the marching ants. Can anybody tell me 3 ways to deselect? Extra credit. Press outside the box. Command. Who? Command D, or you can go to select, deselect, which by the way shows Command D. Thank you, Chris. Okay. All right, so let's do this. Okay, and also thank you, Mr. Flores. All right, so go to Edit, and let's go to Transform, and let's go to Distort. Okay, so go to Edit, Transform, and Distort. I'm just introducing. We're gonna kind of play around with this a little bit more, and now you can like move it in. Okay, you can kind of move this out. You can move this out. Okay, you can move this in. Yes, sir. I'll show you again. So you can actually kind of bring this down a little bit, and it kind of looks like a 3D thing. And press Return. So how I did again? Basically, you make sure your circle, if it's formed, the layer is selected, and then you go to Edit, Transform, and then Distort. Okay. Now I can go back, and if you guys want, like I said, you guys are okay to, yes. Not now. Okay, I will let you go in a second. Okay. So Edit, Transform, and then let's try Warp. Look at Warp. So you got like a little mesh over here, and look what you can do. So you can actually kind of like mess around here. See, you can create all different shapes. Okay. Keep it steady. All right. So you can do, like I said, I'm not really much of a graphics person, but you know, I have no idea what I'm creating, but it looks pretty cool to me. All right, so anyway, so you can try that, or you can try Edit Skew. All right, go ahead to the bathroom. Ivan, go. Come back soon, please. All right, so Transform, and then you can also try Skew, which is sort of like, you know, left and right. So there we go. So I'm just going to keep it at that. Okay. You can actually, it just basically does that. I'm not really good at this. Like I said before, 90% of what you do is basically just sort of kind of, anyways, let's just leave it at there. Okay, I'll just say, but you know it's there. All right. All right, next thing I'd like you to do is create, let's go ahead and highlight layer number 3. And what I'd like you to do for layer number 3 is go ahead and click on the rectangle tool. And this time, go ahead and put something across. And using a different color, like say I'm going to use yellow, I'm going to paint in there. Now, okay, so now watch this, okay, and by the way, I can also shrink further the blue. I can go ahead and highlight the blue. You see how I'm there, the blue, layer number 2. Press Command T. Okay, hold on, it's not there yet. Okay, oh, deselect, always deselect. And then press the layer you want to do, and then go ahead and kind of like shrink it a little bit if you like. There we go, that looks better. Now, why is the yellow on top of the blue? What makes it go on top? Okay, it's because layer 3 is on top of layer 2. Now, if I move layer 2 on top of 3, watch what happens. Boom, the yellow is behind. Okay, so everybody try that. Okay, the layer below is always going to be hidden before the layer on top. Now, what if I really, yes sir. Okay, so which one? This right here? The layer? The layer, you're saying? You use the marquee tool. Okay, go across and use the paint bucket. Okay. So let's go ahead and put the circle on top of the rectangle or the bar. And let's do this with the bar selected. With the bar selected. If I'm going too fast, okay, just like Chris does. Ask me to repeat. Okay, let's go up to where it says opacity. Okay, here is up there, it says opacity. And you notice again, there is a left arrow and a right arrow, but there's also a slide bar, whichever is easiest for you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it down to 50%. Look at that. Now I can see right through it. Okay? I can see right through it. You have total, complete creative freedom. You can do whatever you like. If you think you've had enough of my restrictions, go ahead and draw whatever you want. Yes, sir. How do you rotate a text? You select the layer of the text. Okay. Command T. Okay, and then you see how at the corner right here, whoops. If you're at the corner, now I can go ahead and, like I said, I can even bring this into here. All right. So he asked a very intelligent question. Hopefully that solved it for him. All right, let's do layer number 4, and this time I'm going to show you how to do a triangle. Okay, obviously there's no triangle over here. Okay, instead we got to use the tool right beneath it. Most of you might see what is known as the lasso tool. Instead, you press and hold and you'll see what is known as the polygon tool. There's magnetic, but we're going to choose polygon. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And again, make sure the empty layer is selected. Don't worry about the color yet. Now watch this, okay? Watch what I do, then do as you watched. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here. And as I click, I'm going to not press on the mouse. I'm just going to move the mouse. And you can see the mouse kind of moves around here. Okay? So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to click. Now I get to move the second leg. I'm going to go over here and click. And now I'm going to go back up to connect the shape. The strongest shape in the universe is a triangle. Okay? So right here, if you notice my cursor, there's a small little circle that appears on the bottom right of that cursor. That means the beginning is meeting with the end. Okay, so the end point is meeting with the beginning point. So watch this, everybody. If I click, I get my marching ants. So now I'm going to go ahead and find a color. Let's say green. I'm going to go ahead and use a paint bucket, and I'm going to color it in. And I'm going to lower the opacity. Okay. The nice thing about these sort of stuff, okay, and I'm going to press Command D to deselect it, but watch this really cool thing. I'm going to, everybody get the triangle? Okay, go ahead and get the triangle. I'll give you a couple of minutes. The what? Single line? Oh, the marquee tool. Right here, this tool right here. Got it? Rectangular marquee. It's kind of the same concept. Okay. Let me show you a really cool thing. Cool little trick. Okay, let's all go to, and I haven't shown this to anybody else. So, okay, so let's go ahead to layer number 4 or wherever your triangle is. And I'm going to ask you to do this. Right click. Right click. This is why the right click is important. Or if you don't have a right click method, go ahead and control click. But then what I'd like you to do is select duplicate layer. Right click, duplicate layer. You good there? That's okay. Why are you sorry? You good? Okay. The triangle, you got a new layer? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to use this icon right here. You press and hold. You might see lasso. It's the third one down. And then you go to polygon. Sure you do. Right click. You don't have to apologize. A students don't apologize. Okay. All right. Right click, duplicate layer. Right click, duplicate layer, and watch what happens. Okay, it'll ask you, do you want to duplicate layer number 4? Press OK. Now I got 2. And now this is what I can do. I can move this up, see, like so. I can do Command T, and I can spin it around. And I can increase the opacity, or I can change the color. I can even make it bigger. Okay? So now I'm coming up with a whole bunch of nothing. And so if I want the gladiator stick out, what do I do to make, because the gladiator's behind the green. Anybody need me to repeat that? Okay, no problem. Here we go again. So I clicked on the triangle. Okay. I right click and I select duplicate layer. Right click, duplicate layer. We good? Okay. You guys got to answer me, otherwise I'm assuming everything's good. Press duplicate layer, and now you'll see it'll ask you again, layer 4 copy. Just press OK, and here's the layer 4th copy, automatically added. And now you can treat this like a regular object. You can actually move this up, and then press Command T, and then turn it around. Okay, you can just do this if you like. Okay, and of course you can also change colors if you like. I'm going to go with black, change color, and there we go. Okay. Now, question to you. Gladiator is way back there. It's hidden behind. How do I move it so it's the first layer? How do I move it so it's the first thing that we see? All right, we got some bright eyes here. So let's move this all the way to the top, and there it is. It's appearing. All right. The rest of it is yours to decide. So go ahead and create triangles. You can create many, many different circles. You can add layers. Go ahead and excuse me. Go ahead and design whatever you want. Once you're done, I'd like you to do a screenshot of the entire workspace, which means this includes the Photoshop, the layers, everything. Attach it to the Google Classroom, and that's the class. Boom, boom. All right. Okay. And what I would love to see is right here, maybe in the middle, or add another text. Okay. Yes, sir. I will help who? Help him? Of course. Okay. Class of 2022. Watch this, guys. I'm going to go ahead and select, right, class of 2022, change it to white. And this time, I'm going to go back to warp, and this time, I'm going to do it, let's see if I can choose lower arc. Yeah, class of 22, there we go. Press OK, bam. I know we threw a lot in here, but at least it's not boring. Oh, this is just the beginning. All right. So if you're in class of 2023, forgive me, but you're not Gladiator class of 2023. Sorry. All right. Okay, so I'm going to